All right, I think we're ready to start. Welcome to the last Soul Circle finale in quite a while. I'll be going away to Zurich, Switzerland in May. So this is going to be the very last one, April the 2nd. I'm so happy to have you all. Some of you are very familiar faces. We have a new faces as well. And I'm excited to get started. If you have your cameras off, I invite you to have your cameras on. So this is the best way to get some sort of face-to-face authentic connection. Please have your journals out and ready to use. Let's start off with some icebreakers. Okay, let's start off with some. Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. Let's start off with some icebreakers. So let's go around saying our names, where we are from, our pronouns, and question of the day is, what's one thing that people seem to love a lot, but you're just not so hyped up about? So my name is Linda. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I go by she, her, and I'm just not all that excited about oatmeal and smoothies. But there seems to be like a culture around that where you top it with different things and you make it look all pretty and aesthetic, but it's just, I don't know. It's not really what I eat. Maybe that's why, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. I'm going to go around. Let's go to Jasmine.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, pronouns she, her. BC now, Vernon, BC. And something that people are hyped about, but I'm not so much. I guess maybe it's on the breakfast trend after your share, Linda, but it might be coffee because I've never liked coffee. I've never drank coffee, and some people seem to like need it and live on it and live by it. But yeah, I really don't like it.
Okay, no worries. All right, let's move on to Jason. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Jason. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and still sunny over here. Thing that I'm not as hyped about, I love this question. It's a different kind of question. Vitamins. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of this, but I eat lots of veggies. I'm a good girl. I feel veggies go vitamins, but you know, I get in the sun to get my vitamin D, and I get some net yeast to get my 12, and so vitamins are my thing that I'm not too high on.
Okay, no worries. Thank you so much for sharing, Jason. Erin.
Hi, my name is Erin. I live in Kitchener, Ontario. Go by she, her, and the first thing that came to my mind was Seinfeld. I'm just like, I see the reactions totally. I don't know, man. If you don't like the puffy shirt, just don't wear it and shut up about it. Like, I don't fully understand. It's just so much complaining. I don't get it. But anyway, I'll stop there because I know everyone loves it.
Thanks for sharing, Erin. I don't know Seinfeld, so it's okay. Your friendship is still like on the go with me. Jennifer.
Okay, I figured it out. Hi. I'm Jennifer, and I go by she, her. I'm from Arizona, United States. And the first thing I wanted to say was social media. I'm not so big on social media. And guacamole. I'm tied between those two.
Okay.
And I like Seinfeld, by the way.
Okay. So got some beef here. All right. We have Anna Maria next.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm from Romania. I go by she, her. And one thing that I'm not really excited about is coffee and also alcohol.
Not a fan of alcohol either, but I will do decaf coffee just because I like the flavor. Katerina. We can't hear anything, Katerina. I think you're muted.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katerina. I'm from Bulgaria. I live in Toronto, and I go by she, her pronouns. I'm not big on Netflix binge watching. I used to have Netflix, and I just couldn't get into watching seasons of different shows. I know it's probably one of the ways people connect with each other, so I'm missing out on that connection. But I just don't have the time or the energy to sit in front of a TV and watch for so many hours. Yeah, so that's mine.
I'm kind of with you there. There's very select shows I will watch, but otherwise I try not to go down that hole. Thanks, Katerina. And Vanessa. Could you say that again, Vanessa? I think we're having technical errors.
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Oh no.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You guys can hear me? Okay. So what I'm not big on is electronics, clearly. And I go by she and her. And my name is Vanessa. I'm from Montreal. And yeah.
Okay, I think our internet connection is back. The last thing I heard is Vanessa, you're from Montreal. Thank you so much for dropping by, Vanessa. I know this is your very first one. And thank you, Jasmine, for inviting Vanessa. Leslie. Hello, Leslie.
Hi, sorry. Sorry I'm late, everyone. It's my first time here. I'm actually Linda's editor. So my name's Leslie. I go by she and her. I'm from the Philippines, and I'm not really a fan of cucumbers and kale. I tried doing this famous salad TikTok trend, and it made me gag. So yeah. Yeah, I couldn't finish it or couldn't even take a second bite.
Don't believe everything you see on TikTok. All right. And last and not least, we have Jocelyn, aka Chevy.
Way my video won't turn on. I'm trying to get it on, but can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So my name is Chevy Jocelyn. I go by she, her. I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I guess, what was the question again? Something that
you're
not hyped about, but people
that's a hype, but you're not a fan of.
Okay, so I would have to say I agree with a lot of them. Like, I don't drink coffee. A lot of these I resonate with, but I guess for me, I'd say, like, I guess it depends the crowd you're around, but for me, it's alcohol. Like, I just don't like alcohol. I always prefer to be sober, like, no matter the scene or environment. So I guess that'd be mine. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jocelyn. So here are some housekeeping. As we continue to share tonight, I invite you to just be the open space for other people to share their experiences, share whatever is coming up for them. Avoid giving advice and instead just be the listener of what their experiences are. anytime you find yourself resonating with somebody else when they are sharing, something that I like doing is the twinkle fingers as a sign of, yeah, me too. I feel that totally. Or if somebody is sharing something that's hard, going really hard for them, I like doing the chest pat to say, I'm holding space for you. I really feel that. And that's tough. Thank you. Alternatively, you could always go under reactions and you can give the heart, or you can give the clap, you can give the thumbs up, you can give a laughing face, whatever it is. But there's a button underneath at the bottom that just says reactions, and you're able to give those sort of reactions so that people can receive and see that you are interacting with them. Okay, can we all agree to those terms? Twinkle fingers, yes. Amazing. I trust Jocelyn and Vanessa has twinkle fingers. Amazing. All right, so let's begin really shortly with a meditation just to ground ourselves. So just close your eyes at this point. No one is looking at you. No one is here to judge you. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Nowhere to be but here. Let your eyes rest in their sockets. Let the corners of your lips drop. Let your muscle rest on bone. Imagine yourself floating on a cloud, just floating, restful, peaceful, soft, peaceful, gentle, graceful, protected, cocooned, encompassed. Allow a warmth sensation to bundle you up from the edges of your skin into your pores. You start to feel warm inside. You start to feel safe inside. And you feel this sense of a third entity here, but you're not sure where. You can't see it. You just feel it deep down. It's here and it's everywhere and nowhere. And all throughout. And you can feel that even though it's outside of you, it's a part of you. Where it goes, you go. You feel a part of you there as well. You are guided. You are protected. You are always safe. You have everything in you to find the peace and happiness you desire. And actually, it's not very far. It's right here. It's right now. It's parting the clouds to reveal the sky that has never left. It's what you naturally are. No matter how dark a thunderstorm gets or how hard the rain falls, it cannot remove the sky, which is ever present. And actually, without the sky, there cannot be a space for rain clouds. There cannot be a space for clouds at all. This sky, this space holder is the ever-present you. The you without an identity, without a role, without a mask, without what you've done or what happened to you, but the awareness that is you, the space is you. Take a deep breath in. And slowly exhale. Slowly open the eyes. Beautiful. Amazing. Okay, now that we're centered and grounded, I would really like to go around. I'd really like to present tonight's theme. Tonight's theme is called It Doesn't Belong to You. Tonight's theme is called Whatever Feelings, whatever accomplishments that you have is borrowed. This creativity, this idea is borrowed. This sense of joy is also borrowed. This guilt is also borrowed. We're just borrowing everything, and everything is temporary. So everything is returned and recycled. Nothing is personal. Don't take any ownership of anything you've done. In the context of what an ego is, the ego is the thing that takes ownership of everything that we have done and haven't done. It goes, I did that. I accomplished that. I ran 2,000 miles. It is me who is the daughter of blank, blank, blank. I have this $1 million. My name is Linda. I'm traveling so-and-so miles. It's taking ownership. And so when we take ownership, it naturally provides two outcomes, guilt or pride. Guilt. Man, I ate that muffin again, and I told myself I wasn't good. Pride. I ran 20 miles today. Guilt, pride, guilt, pride. So we're being conditioned on guilt and pride. Naturally, the ego does this, but you are not your ego, because you, the real you, just play with this concept, the real you is the awareness, is the space where these thoughts come from. The thought of, I did this, the thought of, this is happening to me, the thought of, I shouldn't have done that. Who's listening? These are just thoughts. If the thought is saying that, then who's listening? You are. You're listening. So what are you? Is there a you? If there is a you, you are the space for these thoughts. You are the space for these feelings and this awareness. When I learned this, my mind was kind of doing backflips. Take this analogy. You travel in a train. You go on the train travels for 2,000 miles, and then you get off. You go, aha, I traveled 2,000 miles. That was me. Yep, that was me. Here I am in Switzerland now. But did you do that? Or did the train do that? Did you do all of these accomplishments and eat that muffin? Or was life doing that? Life was moving your body. Things come in and out of your visual field. And your ego has a lot of commentary around that. That was bad. I shouldn't have done that. Did I really need to get angry at that instance? I could have done that better. We're having a lot of commentary. It's a lot of thought. There is a saying that goes, life moves you, and the ego takes the ownership of that movement. You are not the dancer. You are the dance. You are not the dancer. You are the dance. And so if there is no you or me, then what is living us? Life. Life moves us. Life is giving us these ideas. Life is letting us borrow strength and motivation to go for a run. Life is giving us the creativity to draw late at night. Life is giving all of this. I mean, can you show me in your brain where you got that idea? It comes from somewhere. Where does it come from? And look, then it's gone, but then the next idea comes. Another example I'd like to give is when Michael Jackson is doing his thing. He is on the court. He's storming the court. He's shooting these hoops. He's unstoppable. And you know what? I think at that point, he's not even thinking, I'm dribbling the ball. Then I'm going to step left, step right, and then jump with my hand. I don't think he's thinking any of that. Life is just moving him. He is in the flow. The flow is moving him. Life is moving him. He's in the zone. And the him is gone. Like he himself is gone. He's not thinking about him at all. Life is moving him. He's at one. And so Michael Jackson sort of disappears at that moment when he's in flow. And the state of flow is the state of being lived. I'm wondering what anybody hears in that, in what I've said so far. And feel free to jump in with your thoughts. Just unmute yourselves.
Okay. When I was reading Amy's book, The Little Book of Big Change, I had the hardest time, and I'm still not sure I fully understand, like, who is the real you underneath all of this? Because it's a really deep and hard thing to wrap your mind around, because like you say, you are conditioned your entire life to think that all these things are you or that are happening to you. It's really hard to almost retrain what you believe. I don't know. I'm not going to start rambling because I feel like I could go. But that's a really hard concept for me, is like, who is the real you? Like,
sometimes I have trouble thinking, figuring that out too, but also who's the one figuring out? It's the mind. It's the ego mind, same thing. It's the mind trying to figure out, who am I? Who really am I? And I'd like to say, well, what if there really kind of is no independent me? And life is just living, experiencing itself through this body, and through your body and your body and your body. But independently, what if there is actually no me as an entity, really? It's hard to wrap your mind around things. But I hear that something in that work really spoke to you. So if that part stumps you, I'm wondering what part of this understanding resonates with you, Jennifer.
That we're not creating our thoughts. That was another one that seems like it should be wrong, but that is one. Sounds so strange to think that you are not creating your own thoughts, but they really are just coming and going, and how they might seem like they're reoccurring, but it's new, fresh thought coming all the time. And that part is easier for me to see.
Yeah. We don't create our thoughts. I think if we had fully 100% control of our thoughts, we wouldn't be choosing to think some of the things that we think. We wouldn't be choosing to feel some of the things that we are currently feeling. If we had really 100% control, then, I guess we wouldn't have any complaints, because we wouldn't be thinking the things that we are currently thinking. So what's thinking us? What's providing all of these thoughts? I don't know. But I do know that anything that is happening in life is borrowed. This thought is borrowed. This trophy is borrowed. This body is borrowed. I can't take ownership of anything that I've done, like the door that I held for a stranger. That wasn't me. That was an idea that came to me, and so I acted upon it. And then my ego goes, oh yeah, I did that. I traveled 2,000 miles on the plane. I traveled 2,000 miles, not the plane, not the train. I did it, me. Who gave you the idea? So it's like the ownership thing again. Anyone else hear something in this?
Yeah, I connect with this idea of it's not you in kind of a professional sense, in that we tend to take credit for the good things that happen at work when you're like successful, and it's like, oh, look at all the things that I've done. I've had this role. I worked at this company. We did all these things. And in every single one of those situations, it's always a number of people, and they're the things that are actually enabling that. It's a network of stuff, and I'm just a piece of that. So in so much as we like are recognizing that, it's really helpful. It's really healthy, and like kind of letting go of the ego, and so that I really connected on that. I'm reminded of there's a Buddhist concept of the middle way. That seems to connect to this, that you talked about pride and shame as being the work of the ego, and the middle way is kind of like walking between those two things and kind of letting go of those, and not being bigger than you really are, but also really are, because we do have power and we do have presence, but Yeah, and I like we're not the dancer, we're the dance. And like I connect with that a lot. That we are movement, we are energy, you know, and we're not an object. You know, it's what we're doing that is really matters. I also heard, I think Thich Nhat Hanh said that we are all the ocean, and each one of us is a wave.
Yes, I heard that too. And can the wave be separate from the ocean?
No.
You wouldn't have a wave. Can we just try to picture that? A wave separate from the ocean? What is that? You can't.
No, not possible.
Thanks for sharing, Jason. Anyone else hear anything in that? Here's an opportunity for us to start journaling. The first prompt, you just take out your journal and pen, is what are you feeling guilty about? What do you guilt yourself over? And then the second one is, what do you take pride in? So I'll give us 7 minutes to journal on that. And any revelations that also come up around taking ownership for those actions and accomplishments. Let's go. My internet keeps going in and out, but we're just about on time for the journaling prompt. All right, I would love to hear what came up for some of you. I'm going to invite some of us to share that have not shared yet. Jocelyn/Devi, is there something that came up for you in this journaling? Oh, we can't hear anything.
Sorry, I just had to unmute myself. Okay. Yeah, so do you just mind repeating those questions one more time, please?
So what does your ego like taking ownership of in terms of what do you guilt yourself over and what do you take pride over?
Okay, so yeah, I got it right. So I would say for something that kind of like would guilt myself for as part of the ego would be like overthinking at times, or like being too much in my head when I'm just trying to like step into like my heart space. And yeah, sometimes it feels hard to really allow myself to step into my emotions. And when I'm in a place of like subconscious avoidance of those emotions, I kind of feel like I'm also subconsciously like guilting myself for not being able to really like just like feel whatever it is that's inside of me. So I would say that's the guilt. Does that make any sense?
The guilt that you're not allowing yourself to feel the feelings.
Yeah, basically. And then I guess something that I feel pride with, I guess, would be like the way I don't let like my trauma define my future, and like all the time and energy I put into like self-healing and, you know, growth and all that.
Resonate with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, in terms of what you said about guilt over not allowing yourself to feel the feelings, I really, really resonate with that. And where are these feelings coming from? They're not ours. They're totally not ours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do they come from? I didn't create it. If I created all my feelings, I wouldn't be feeling this. I would choose totally not to feel this. So if these feelings that are coming up for me and I'm feeling them, like, are they even mine to take ownership of? I don't know. If it's not mine, then why am I taking it so personally? You know, it really gets you to think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Right. Erin, I'd love to hear from you if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I gotta say I found this a little difficult. But I mean, the first half I found really easy. What do you feel, the guilt part? Basically like spending too much money on myself, which might be because I splurged and bought a digital piano today, and then now I'm kind of like, did I have to spend that much money on a musical instrument?
Oh my God. Wait, sorry. Whoa, hold on. So can I pause you there for a second? It sounds like the thought popped into your head to say, hey, I should buy a digital piano. And then you bought the digital piano. And now your thought's thinking, wait, I shouldn't have bought the digital piano. So can
Mainly
you win?
because somebody sent me text messages of cheaper digital pianos on Kijiji, whereas I bought a new one. So realizing like I could have been a little more frugal about it. I don't make a ton of money. This is a giant purchase, but it's an investment, trying to think of it that way. Anyway, a lot of, I won't do the whole list. A lot of them are about money. Yeah, and feeling guilty about not finishing enough art. And I found what I take pride in a little challenging. Because I don't really take pride in a lot of things, but that's kind of my path right now, is trying to change that, to find things that make me more prideful. They own, like, literally my list of what do you take pride in says not much, and then making soup. So, I do like to make a good soup.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's that. And I also hear that you put a lot of expectation on yourself to get a lot of things done. For example, to seek out a piano, to find the cheapest price. And then if you do find the cheapest price and it's a really good quality, then good job, Erin. I did it. That's right. I found the piano. I did that. And I got my laundry done. I did all those things. I'm not the dance, I'm the dancer.
To be honest, I totally feel like the dance. I feel very muddled up in everything where I don't take the time to be like, I am the dancer. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. You caught me on a weird day. I'm here, but I'm like not really here. Sorry.
So just listen lightly then, because your this understanding is really hard to get egoically. When I came across this understanding, I thought, no, I got 100% free will. Look, I just picked up my cup of coffee. Don't hate me now, guys. I just picked up my cup of coffee. That's me. I did that. Look, and I'm doing this with my hair and I'm talking. That's me. I'm doing it. That's my free will. And the more I think about it, well, did I come up with the idea to pick up this? Like, I could have picked up a million things, but I chose to pick up this. And I could have done a million actions, but I chose to do this. Where did these ideas come from? I don't know. Somewhere, maybe. I don't know. All these ideas are just borrowed. I have a friend. She went through a very, very traumatic, abusive relationship. And she got married to this man and she stayed married to him for about 20 years. And she was verbally abused. And I don't know how she did it for 20 years. And she is the sweetest human. She's one of the sweetest human beings I have ever met. So kind-hearted, so generous. She has this beautiful healer kind of energy about herself. And she's also a hypnotherapist. And it astounds me how the abuse that she's endured, the yelling, the screaming, the nights that she's kept crying, the manipulation. She was in a relationship with a narcissist, like a hardcore narcissist. And the things that she's gone through, it astounds me how it didn't make her bitter. She maintained like the heart of a rose, really delicate and soft and still beautiful and still willing to believe, still having faith in a God, in the universe, in money when she needs it. And I always thought she was a strong person because of that. I looked up to her. I love her like a sister. And then one day, we were having a conversation over some amazing sashimi. And she started tearing up over talking about her abusive relationship again. And I realized at that moment, it was not her. Like, she is not strong. She herself, there's no way she could do this by herself. She was borrowing the strength of something greater than herself to get her through this. She was borrowing the strength of the universe to get her through this. One of the most admirable properties about her is her faith in the universe, her faith in spirituality. And that's been constant throughout her entire abusive relationship in 20 years. And I think if it wasn't for that, she would not be the Rose that she is today. She might have killed herself. She told me, I really thought about killing myself. And I said to her, oh my God, you're not strong. You are not strong at all. You are borrowing this a strength that is given to you. There is no way you could do this on your own. And she goes, yeah, like, it's really not me. I've never felt like it was ever me in any of this. And so my next journaling question to you is, what is the beauty of borrowing the resources that you need? And how would it impact your life? I'm talking about the motivation, the strength, the creativity, the charisma, whatever it is you feel like you're lacking, the time. What would it be like to borrow from a universal abundant source? How would that change your life? Okay, I'm going to give us 5 minutes for this. Let's go. Okay, start wrapping up. All righty. Okay, I'd love to share, going around to share what really came up for us, because this is what came up for me. So the beauty of borrowing, it's not up to me. There is an infinite supply source of energy. I open up an outcome even better than I ever imagined to happen. Even better than what I imagined. Like my mind is so finite in what it thinks is the best, because what we know is the best is predictable. But what if there's something better that I can't even fathom? I stress less. I show up in the present a lot more. I am more in the flow, just like Michael Jackson. I don't think Michael Jackson is planning his every step. I think he's totally in the flow. He's borrowing a flow. Like he's the dance. I'm trusting the right thing will come through to me at the right time. Like here, no lie, every time I have a soul circle, I'm thinking, okay, I really want to give value. I really want people that come to like this. I really want you guys to like this. And you know what? That's a little bit of pride and guilt right there. That's a lot of responsibility on me. If they like it, great, pat on the back. If they didn't like it, oh, boo, guilt, lots of guilt, lots of guilt. Stop, soul circle. But what if I just trust that the right thing, the right idea will land with me? And I'm supposed to say these words and stumble upon these words and have these mistakes. I trust a lot more. I stress a lot less. I'm given the creativity and the right words that I need. I become an open channel to receive. Instead of me having to create all of this stuff, there's a lot easier way where I'm just an open canal for things to come in and flow through. I'm an open channel. And the last thing is more effortless travel. I borrow the train and the train takes me where I need to go instead of me going by foot. So that's what came through for me. And I would love to hear from some of you what came through for you, the beauty of borrowing.
I'd say a lot of mine were the same as yours, where it was less pressure to do well or like produce a certain outcome, and then less guilt if something didn't work out, the way that you would prefer it to, and that you would trust that life is exactly the way that it's supposed to be, because that's what you were given. That's what it should be. And it lead to just a life with more freedom and acceptance.
I love that. Can you say the second last thing again?
Trusting that life is already exactly the way it's supposed to be.
I love that. To add to that, I would say, aren't we always doing the best that we can, even though we think we can do better?
Yeah.
Because if we could do better, we already would have. I mean, whatever we did it because at that moment, it occurred to us to do that. The thought occurred for us to do that or not do that. And then we took whatever action happened from there. But if we could do better, we already would have. I'm seeing some twinkle fingers from Katarina. What came up for you, Katarina?
Well,
It was a deep question, and I don't know if I got it right. But what came up for me is that like thinking outside the box is what it would mean to borrow from the universe abundance. So I think a lot of times we're sort of presented with an A or B option. It's like to buy or not to buy, to eat or not to eat, to study or not to study. But I think it's important to think outside of the box and to give ourselves other options. Like one good one is to buy later, or to eat later, or to say, I will eat, but I'll do it later. Or to say, I will eat, but I'll eat a little bit. Or to say, I will study for this long, but then I will do something else that I like, and then I'll go back to studying. So it's not, so that's basically it. Like, does that make sense?
It makes sense if that's what came up for you.
Yeah, like thinking outside the box, and the universe is abundant. Like we don't only have to pick from two options. We can have like many variations. We don't have to make the decisions right now.
I would also add to that, a decision kind of already has been made. A decision has been made already, and then we're going to have a lot of commentary on it. The ego is going to have a lot of commentary on, oh, I should have done that, or oh, there was a cheaper option, and oh, but like the ego is always going to have something to say. Would that be, oh, that was good, or that wasn't so great? Jasmine, were you going to say something?
So I definitely agree with and even adhere to the concept of, life flowing through us, and it's not happening to us, it's flowing through us, and in the infinite abundance of the universe. But I also think that humans have free will, and that was the device, like the divine or the source or whatever you want to call it, wanted to have this human experience, and for us to have it, we need free will. So I think that for me, it's more a question of like frequency of vibrations, because as you elevate your vibrations, then the ego just sort of dissipates. And when you're on a lower frequency, then the ego, it does have a purpose, because when you feel pride or guilt, then it's telling you something also. Why do you feel proud about that? Oh, because it made someone else happy. Oh, and that brings you joy. Or you felt guilt about this thing, is, oh, it's because, I don't know, like my body, my digestive system really had a tough time after eating that. That's why I feel that. So maybe I'm going a bit off, but that's sort of what came to me, that about the borrowing the resources is more like, well, it feels awesome, but I know that to receive that infinite abundance as a human, I need to like elevate my frequencies. And as soon as I let down my guard, sort of, not my guard, but my self-awareness, I guess, then that's when the other things are coming in, and my ego's there to help me and guide me. I don't know. That's what I got.
Thanks for sharing what you heard in that. I'd like to open up a question for you to ponder on, and it's, what if I don't need to reach outside of myself to elevate my frequencies so I can attract what I want, but actually what I want is already here? Like, it's naturally what I am, and I think I don't have that. It's like it's like asking the sun to be more of a to be more luminous when luminosity is exactly what it is. It's like asking the sun to do that, but you can't, the sun can't do that because the sun is that. It's the same concept with, okay, I just need to love myself. I need to learn how to love myself. Okay, I'm going to do a lot of journaling, a lot of meditation on loving myself in order to achieve the fact that I'm loving myself. But how about you are love and you can't achieve that at all? To achieve that would be to try to travel to somewhere, but it's right here because it's what you are. And you don't feel love for yourself because you don't know yourself. You don't know that you're love itself. You are itself. Love cannot love itself. It is it. It is it. And sometimes, and maybe this makes no sense to you right now, like it did for me. But ponder. Food for thought. Jasmine says, absolutely, unconditional love is a state of being, our natural innate way. So maybe you don't have to seek so hard outside of yourself to find that vibration, Jasmine. I would love to hear Anna Maria.
Okay, well, what I wrote about it, about the beauty of borrowing, is that this way we don't have to identify ourselves with everything, with our problems. We are separate from the mind, emotions, problems, everything that's going on, the external world, you know. And also we don't have to control everything.
No, you don't at all. I love that. Thank you. Somebody, I heard this interpretation from someone where it's like you grab a cup and you fill it at the waterfall. So now it's full of water. And then you go and you show everyone, hey, look, I got a cup of water. And they're like, oh, that's great. But you don't know that this isn't all you have. There's like an infinite supply, like behind you. There's a waterfall. There's not just this cup. And that's what I like to think about in terms of the universe. You think you have this cup and you have this finite supply. So you gotta, time yourself and really like calculate all that. But there's a lot more behind you that we don't even know about, that you're tapped into, but you don't even know you're tapped into because you're borrowing it, and it's borrowed, and it's recycled. And the thing I think with the ego is that there's this us, if this point is us, and then we put lots of stories around, okay, so this is me, and this is my job, and this is what I do, and I need to do this to, elevate my vibration, and I do this to forgive myself, and then us, the awareness, we look through this tunnel, and then we think, okay, this is what we are, and then at this next stage, we take another photo frame of us in all of our experience at this point. And this is what we are. And then this is what we are. And then this is what we are. And it becomes more narrow and narrow and narrow. But the essence of us lies all the way back here. And we're just looking through these lenses. Who are we?
I think we are the things that we enjoy doing.
We are what we love, maybe. I like that.
Yeah, what we're good at, what comes naturally to us, what we like to do.
I think for me, we are the space for all thoughts and feelings to exist. Jasmine says, we are one of the many expressions of God or universe, source, whatever resonates. I love that. And if we're one of the many expressions, are we all a piece of the same source? Are we all just a little puzzle piece that's kind of separated from the puzzle and started living their own lives? Is that what you believe, Jasmine? Yeah, okay. So then we're all one, yes? Who are we? What am I? I really don't know how to answer this question. My mind is quiet, and yet it has a lot of questions and just questions around this. Does anyone else? Yeah, I'm seeing some nods. Yeah. I don't have all the answers, and I'm still figuring them out. I saw your head nod, Leslie. What were some of the questions that were coming up for you?
Well, it's not just one. It's honestly just a multiple questions kind of contradicting each other. It's like I'm fighting within myself. So one question passes and then another questions the question. It's kind of like that kind of thing. It's like I'm constantly in this state of questioning. When you said something like, what am I can't really have a solid answer or even a thought or even a phrase of to describe what am I. But I feel like I can answer with in this life stage that I'm currently in, I'm still seeking for answers. But I also have your guidance. So, and all of you guys, since I'm kind of new to this, I feel like slowly I'm starting to unravel something inside of me that I haven't seen. It's usually how do I describe this better? It's like it's not how I usually see it. It's more how I feel it and see it at the same time. Something like that. I'm starting to feel it, not just see it from my eyes. I'm in that life stage right now. So that's what's going on in my mind.
I love that. Well, naturally, when you see differently, you will feel differently. Like when you see something, you see something differently, you will feel a little bit differently. It's like that snake rope analogy. You see a snake, you're afraid. You see a rope, you go, oh, yeah, what's next? What else? Yeah. Let's close out because we will close out soon. Let's close out with this one question, and it is, what would you like to borrow this week from Infinite Source? What would you like to borrow? I'll give us 2 minutes to write out our intentions. Maybe it's the forgiveness you want to borrow. Maybe it's the courage you want to borrow. Maybe you want to borrow some surrender. Or actually, you don't need to borrow surrender. Because if it's not yours, there's nothing to worry about. I know specifically as artists, when we create something, it's like our baby. It's like, what will the world think of this creation? Are they going to like it? Will they fund me? Are they going to buy it? And well, what if they don't buy it? Well, it wasn't mine to begin with. Like, there's nothing to worry about that there. It wasn't mine. It says nothing about me. And if they buy it, okay, then great. I mean, the ego can take a hit and say, yeah, that was me. I did it. I came up with the creativity. It was me that gave birth to this idea instead of this idea flow through me. I mean, you can relish in that too. That's allowed. You can take credit if you want. Just know you're taking credit. What would you like to borrow? Anna Maria.
Well, I would like to borrow relief, peace, support, patience, joy. And when you mentioned surrender, I was actually writing it.
Were you?
Yeah.
You would like to borrow surrender.
And some rest, maybe.
If you don't mind me asking, what would you like to borrow surrender in what kind of context?
In general, and like not trying to control or expect anything and just going with the flow. Yeah, because a lot of things happened recently that made me realize that I still need to learn to let go of trying to control anything or everything.
If you knew that there was a source behind you always supporting you, do you need to actively surrender?
I think so.
Okay.
Because I can also stand in my own way.
You can. You can.
And it will just postpone my growth. Sometimes we don't have to do more, we have to do less in order to get forward.
Mm-hmm. Wise words. Thank you, Anna Maria. What would you like to borrow, Jason?
I would like to borrow the peace of mind and calm energy. I wanted to borrow a clarity of mind by releasing expectations and plans and be responsive to what's around me.
I love that. Ask and it will be given. Thank you. Leslie, what would you like to borrow?
I would like to borrow time, also peace of mind, acceptance, bravery, and confidence.
Amazing. Thank you so much. How about you, Jocelyn?
Okay, I said like motivation / determination. So kind of like this week, I want to like feel like motivated even when I don't feel motivated, kind of like just like kind of push myself to feel motivated, especially the days that I don't feel motivated. And like getting into good like sleep schedule, good routine, all that type of stuff for that like this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. How about you, Erin?
I had confidence, determination, and perseverance were kind of the main ones for me.
Confidence, determination, perseverance. Ooh, I like these bold energies.
Well, I actually also have tough chick energy on my list because earlier today we were having a conversation. I was having a conversation with someone about how you can win a fight without a punch by having that tough, confident energy. Like if you just exude this confident, and it like, anyway, that was where it came from. Short of it being.
I love it. I love it. And it's going to come through you. It's going to come through you in funny ways. All right, Jennifer.
Okay, I have patience was a big one. Just the calmness or peacefulness to have a quiet mind, and the insight to be able to see my true self.
And you're already on your way there.
Yeah.
You are. You are. You are. Because you catch yourself a lot more in these moments that you don't. And that itself is already a start. It's not an opportunity to guilt yourself for being aware. Okay? When you're aware, it's not an opportunity for you to guilt yourself for being aware. That's the mind again. But you know, okay. All right. Katerina, what would you like to borrow?
I would like to borrow creativity, forgiveness, and patience. It really resonated with me, the idea of surrendering and just like allowing things to happen to me rather than trying to control the situation always. I agree with the idea of less is more. I still don't understand it, but it's something that's come across my path a couple of times already, and I just want to see. I want to try it out. I want to try out the idea of less is more.
I love that. And what's one thing that you can do to start that?
Well, I have housemates and I like to clean up after them because I like a clean environment. So I think I'm going to do less cleaning and allow them more to do it when they're ready, or have more conversations about it so that they can do it themselves. Yeah. So less of me doing it, more of them doing it.
That sounds fair. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Awesome. And last but not least, Jasmine, what would you like to borrow?
I would like to borrow just a little bit of extra sleep this week.
Yeah. This come from an insomniac.
Yeah, I also struggled with that in the past, and I'm very grateful that it's mostly resolved, but yeah, I could still use a little bit more sleep.
Let me ask you this. Do you beat yourself up for not getting a good night's of sleep? You wake up, you're like, oh man,
Well,
Trying to sleep
one of
better.
the things that I put in the guilt was the like staying up later than I should have, because I wake up at the same time in the morning no matter what, whether I went to bed late or not. So if I went to bed too late, then it's like, oh, that's my fault. But
Makes sense.
so yeah, I'm
Makes
gonna go to
sense.
bed early for sure tonight.
Yeah. I hear you. Vanessa's connection wasn't so good. Okay, no worries. Okay, I just want to close this out by letting you all know you can't do it by yourself, and you probably don't want to do it by yourself because that gets exhausting. I think we cry enough tears. I think life is hard enough already. And so if you just fall back into the ease and the trust that it will be given to you at the right time when you need it. The money, it's going to come to you at the right time, no sooner, no later. The resources, it will be given to you when you don't know how. The universe says, somehow, I'm going to give it to you when I know it's the right time for you. You don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to come up with everything by yourself. If you're finding it hard to forgive someone, then it's not up to you. Pray for the strength to do it. If you don't have the courage, the motivation to do, push-ups tomorrow, ask for the strength to. Ask for the properties that you want. And then start borrowing from that infinite supply. See what happens. Every day I ask for a miracle, you guys, every day that I asked for a miracle, I have always gotten one. I'm shocked. I have always gotten a miracle on the days that I set an intention and I said, please give me a miracle. I've always received something. Ask to borrow. If you don't have it, you don't need to come up with it. Awesome. And with that, we close out with the very last soul circle. I'm deeply, deeply grateful for every single one of you that have come. I really hope that this has served you. I'm getting nervous saying this because I know that there's an egoic part of me. I'm seeing so much hearts. Thank you so much. There's an egoic part of me that is saying, I could have done better. This could have been better. I could have done this. I shouldn't have said that. And, oh, but look at the soul circle we had last week. That was last month. That was so much like better because XYZ and whatever. And I just truly hope that the right things were said today and the right messages was received today, because you all matter a lot to me. And if you didn't like this, I truly hope you don't think any less of me or soul circles. And if you did like this, my ego is patting me on the back. Good job, Linda. But I'm deeply grateful that you guys would take out the time to be here tonight. And hope this planted a seed in your mind about some things, about seeing life differently. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much, Chevy/Jocelyn. Let's close out with a very short meditation. I promise it'll be short. All right, close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and the other hand on top of that heart. And just trust that whatever ideas and phrases and imagery that have been planted into your mind today will sprout over time. We don't expect a tree to grow out of it immediately, but to reap the dividends and harvest the fruit in the fall. I ask for a miracle, and I am entitled to miracles. I am allowed to borrow from an infinite source. And I will remember that I am not the dancer, but the dance. I trust that I am being lived. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Open your eyes. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming.
Have fun in Switzerland.
Oh, thank you. I will. All the best travels. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This soul circle was deep and beautiful.
Take a lot of pictures and videos, Linda.
No doubt, no doubt. Right. Namaste, namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.